All right, so we are down here at the Heroes and Horror Con. I'm with Vernon Wells.
I'm not gonna shoot you between the eyes. I'm gonna shoot you between the balls.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
I actually never wanted to be an actor. I always wanted to be a director, and I sort of did Mad Max because George Miller's girlfriend had strongly suggested to George he should see me, and he cast me into Mad Max. And after that, I thought, I'm just going to go back to doing what I like, and that's directing. And then they started pestering me to come over and do Weird Science, and it was like, seriously. And the nice thing about it was they thought that every time my manager said I wouldn't come, that I wanted more money, so they kept offering more money.
That worked out.
I learned a lot about Americans in that negotiation. Just say no, then they'll offer you more. So, but it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it when I did it. And the thing that got me to do it more than anything, the money, all the bullshit aside, was John Hughes. Being able to work with John Hughes was really cool. I worked with George Miller, who I consider to be one of the best directors we have. And then working with John Hughes, who was such an icon in the youth movement, all those kid movies, 16 Candles and all that stuff was just amazing. So just getting the chance to work with him was just brilliant.
So what was the most memorable part about being on the Mad Max, shooting Mad Max? Because that's a great movie.
You know what? It was all just, the whole thing was just a lot of fun from a lot of perspectives. We were all young and dumb, to be blunt. Like George said, jump off a mountain. Nobody ever questioned, going.
Right.
Nobody seemed to think about the consequences. George was totally conscious of safety. That was his whole thing. Everything had to be safe. Everybody had to be really, really looked after. So none of the actors, I got hurt. I got hit in the elbow with the boomerang. It chipped my elbow. It was like, little Emil threw the boomerang, and I was going, it was like coming straight at my head, and I went, And I went, oh. Bad move. So that kind of hurt.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I don't think there was really any. The other major thing was that every time I touched anything, it was freezing cold, which nobody realizes. It was so cold that anything that was metal you couldn't touch unless you had gloves on. And I would continue to grab hold of steel. They're like, I'm fine. I'm not fine. They have to come over and pour water on my hand till it came off. I still carry the scars, from grabbing things.
That's so crazy because watching it seems like it's so hot.
I know.
Yeah.
My nickname on the set was Barometer Bump because every time the cheeks of my ass went purple, it was like, cut, get them into the heat. That was their whole way of telling if it was cold. Yeah. As if I was standing there going, we all thought that we had this cute little movie. No one ever expected it to become the iconic film it became. Nobody saw it, nobody thought it would ever happen. As far as the Americans were concerned, Mad Max 1 had been a failure and had become this big thing. But for some reason, Road Warrior had all the elements, the story, the actors, everything seemed to gel in that film. And it just went boom. It was just amazing. It still is.
It is amazing. I feel like the first versus the second one. The second one just so much more. There's so much more story, more character development, more characters, more interesting characters. It's just
And you kind of know why everybody's there. It's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's this whole progression of starting here and moving to the consequence, which is over there, which was kind of good. I enjoyed it. my first movie. I mean, who wouldn't, you know?
Yeah.
You're out on the set getting run over by large vehicles, and racing and chasing everything, and riding motorbikes like an idiot. I started off playing villains, and I seem to be able to do them extremely well. And I've played a couple of, 2 or 3 very iconic villains. I think I've had more success than most people dream of. You know, I managed to do Commando, I got Road Warrior, I've done a couple of other films which have amazing villains in them. And I love villains for one reason, is there's no boundaries. You know, a villain's not the little square box. A villain, they say, look, you know, you can go out and beat up the grandmother and rape her dog. It really doesn't matter. Nobody cares. You know, he's a villain. He's going to get killed in the end, so go have fun. When you're the hero, it's the other way around. It's like, little square box. No. Can't raise your voice, can't be mean, can't kick the dog, can't do anything. So you sort of have these boundaries. But if ever I get asked to play like the other side of the coin, I always try to make the character have 2 sides. There's always got to be something in there that's just a little off kilter.
Right.
So that you get to have more than a cookie cutter good. You have a good guy that's a little bit like you. You wouldn't want to walk down a dark road with him. You might kick your ass if you